Has Lamar gotten any offer sheets? Anyone coming? I know that's two questions, but what's the latest there?
It is a challenging situation to read at present, Rich, because of all the various tentacles of this that we've discussed on this show and
Yes.
on NFL Network in terms of the 2 first-round picks and over 20% of your salary cap, $50 million a year, a fully or nearly fully guaranteed contract for a guy whose greatest skill is probably a depreciating asset. It's a lot to ask. I do know the teams have, explored it in terms of having those conversations at minimum internally. You've also got, the dynamic of some of the teams that you potentially would have in the mix might have very high draft picks. In other words, if you're the Colts, which has been, written some about, even though it does not seem like that's advanced very far, Colts right now have the number 4 pick. If one of the 2 first-rounders you're giving up is number 4, that is way, way different than giving up, let's say, number 20 and number 25 over a couple of years. So if the Colts, again, this is all hypothetical, if the Colts wanted to be involved in this, you'd think they'd probably be looking to trade down before they'd be willing to entertain doing an offer sheet. It depends on so many different factors right now. And with Lamar, I mean, he just in terms of we'll see what happens in that interview or whatever that's coming out, but he's, in terms of his social media posts and whatnot, he seems decidedly unbothered, which makes sense because he was willing to play for $1.7 million and $23 million over the past 2 years that no agent would have ever told him to go do. So, you're going to have, on one hand, yes, you would think that if you want the player, you're going to want to put the wheels in motion sooner than later and make the Ravens make a decision because they'll have 5 days on the calendar to match any offer sheet. But if you're sitting there on a high pick and you're thinking we need to get a good player now to help out this team, maybe you kick the can down the road, do that offer sheet after the draft. He can go all the way until I believe it's the Tuesday after week 10, Rich. That's how long Lamar can string this out. He can sign an offer sheet that late. And then at that point, if nothing happens, and in the world where he's like, you know what, after playing for $32 million over the last 2 years, I'll give up $20 million just to sit until mid-November here, then he's got a choice. Does he come back at all? Does he try to play the down the stretch of the season or just continue sitting out, give up the other $12 million, and try this all again in 2024? I don't know if there's a great history for players sitting out an entire season, whether it's Deshaun Watson or at a different position, Le'Veon Bell, and coming back and playing well. Football does not generally lend itself to that type of layoff. But one thing we know about Lamar Jackson is he is not going to be boxed into doing the conventional thing. Literally everything that he has done, everything that he is doing is unconventional. And I would expect negotiations, if any, with the other 31 teams to be just as unconventional as we move forward.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.